Silverstone is actually quite difficult.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the GP2 Championship. We have got sound. Will you do a little test of your talk?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm the second commentator here, joining you tonight in the British Grand Prix.
Lovely. So we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the GP2 Racing Championship. We're just going to get it all shared so everyone can access us. Lovely, there we go. And I'm going to run you quickly through our driver standings as we get ready for qualifying here. So we've got Yari absolutely stonking it out in the lead currently. Okay, he's got 113 points onto his triple figures, the only driver up there. We've got Scotty Fennell in second place with 58 points. Then Villas with 53 after his fantastic weekend last weekend. Bob Sardas in fourth with 52. Little jump down to Wet Boy and Drugs on 38. Frank Efron on 30. As we get going on the opening lap of qualifying, or on the one lap of qualifying. We've got a single lap of qualifying. As we get into it, so I'm joined here today with Frad Bai, a reserve driver from our teams. Who is going to be your bid for today's victor in today's race?
Well, of course, we all would have thought Yari, but he apparently starts from the back, so that's yeah, good for the standings. But I think NJ Devil has a good chance. I saw his pace last week, as well as Scotty Fennell. Of course, he's very fast, so probably one of those two. But I think it's a very difficult track, especially with the track limits that it can be easily passed. So it will be good to see which drivers are able to keep a car on track and pass the finish line.
Yeah, I totally agree. The track limits are a real challenge on this track, aren't they? Something I've certainly been struggling with in practice all week. Because it's such a fast-paced track, we mean it's over 3.5 miles long, this track, but your average speed is in the F1 cars at least, is over 140 miles an hour around the track. So with that fast pace, you've got to be really, really delicate into every corner. As we follow Wet Boy and Drugs now down into the final sector, you've got to really hit onto the brakes here. And what are the sort of key differences? Because I'm not a big driver of the F2 cars. I've given it a little go, but haven't really tried it in earnest. What are the big differences that you've noticed between driving the GP2 cars and driving the F1 cars?
Well, I think it's especially the braking and the turning of the cars, as Wet Boy and Drugs goes first in a 139. But it's especially the turning of the cars which makes it quite difficult with the setup that has to be used. So yeah, that will be interesting for the race. But as we speak, Wet Boy and Drugs goes first with actually a big gap with Yari of almost 0.8 of a second. Very good lap, I think. It's very difficult to do.
Really, really impressive, isn't it? 139 dead. And then we've got behind him Yari, NJ Devil, Pinnacle, IP in 5th, Carcraft in 6th, Scotty Fennell 7th, Joe Royals 8th, Bob Sardas 9th. Jardy comes over the line in 10th position. We've got Luna Jedi in 11th, Yuri in 12th, Vivico 13th, Isolate with Flair is 14th, Iveski 15th, and then we've got some disqualified drivers. So Villas, Lewis Argel, Vaimangatis will all start from the back of the grid. So we've had some people suffering from those difficult track limits in the race. So here we are then.
It will be very difficult in a race to keep the car on track and keep going for all the laps that are needed to complete the race and keep it on track without getting a penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So I think the penalties are going to have a real impact on the course of today's race. It could make all the difference. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from and who your votes are for this opening race. Who do you think will win? is that time right at the top of that 1:39 dead? Is that gonna see NJ Devil with a clear win? Because of the single lap qualifying, they don't have to start on the same tyres they qualify on, so they're gonna have a free choice of tyres, all the drivers. But remember, for the second race, we'll have an inverted grid order. Okay, so it'll be difficult. If you win, you end up starting in 8th position, so it would create some good racing in the second race. As we prepare for the formation lap, the drivers head off on the formation lap. We're going to follow around with Weimangarters just to see where we're going. We've got Joey is going for Yuri. He wants Yuri for the win. And you were telling me you're friends with Yuri, aren't you?
Yeah, and as well as with Joey. They are, well, it would be extremely difficult from 12th place to get the win, but we've seen some spectacular racing, so never know.
Absolutely, yeah. Crazier things have happened in motorsport, right?
Yeah, that's true, so we'll see. But Wet Boy and Drugs with a 1:39 has put themselves in a really good position, and if he can keep that pace up the entire race, he will be taking the pole position into a win, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially if we see that sort of you see that pace sort of all the way through the lap. Going to be very, very impressive. As we have a quick look on board with the tyres that the drivers are using. So we've got most drivers going for the hards. We've got Villas on the softs. We've got Bob Sada on the softs. We've got Carcraft on the softs. And I suppose this is, with a 15-lap race, that could all depend on whether it's a good idea or not, based on whether we get a safety car. With the big runoffs, it's less likely for us to have a safety car than certainly last weekend at Baku, where it was all stop-start every race because of the nature of the circuit with the wall so close. As we see Lewis there just get removed from the formation lap. Now, what problem does that cause for you on the start if you've been removed from the formation lap?
Well, I think the tires get a bit colder than the other guys, but I've been disqualified twice in 2 races for the formation lap, and I didn't think it was too bad, especially when you start on the hards, which have a lower temperature than the needed than the softs to work optimal. So I'm sure it won't affect his race. Starting from 17th, he can't lose that much position, so still have hope for him.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you've got to make a good point there. So as we're just coming round, almost ready, the drivers are starting to reform on the grid. As we said, we've got Wet Boy on Drugs starting from pole, Yari in 2nd place, NJ Devil in 3rd, Pinnacle 4th and IP 5th. Really hoping to see a good battle there between Wet Boy on Drugs and Yari. I think we could have an excellent race between those two at the front of the track. So here we are, we've got all the drivers lined up in position. Hear the beeps of the car. We see the cars preparing, and they're off into the first corner. Pulling away at the front there, Wet Boy on Drugs. Oh, Yari has a little bit of torque steer there, and he's lost a couple of places. He's dropped it down to 6th place as NJ Devil gets past him. Scotty Fennell gets past, IP gets past, Yari down in 5th place. Not the best start for Yari. Oh, we have a spinner out in the background. Not sure who that was. I think that's Jardy going off in the background there.
Yeah, Charlie already has a couple of seconds disadvantage now. Has to get into his own pace on those tires.
And further back, we've got Joe Royal pushing forward. He's managed to make a couple of places past Lunar Jedi. Yuri up into 9th place, so a good start from him as we see someone running wide there. Carcraft has lost a couple of places. Villas manages to get past him. And Yuri spins off onto the grass there, as does another driver ahead of him. So a little bit of the trickiness of this fast-paced circuit already rearing its ugly head for some of the drivers. Further back, we've got Weimangarters getting past Iveski. But up the front, Wet Boy on Drugs has nearly pulled out a second's gap on NJ Devil. And that is really, really going to help him out if he can maintain that level of gap. So that's fantastic. Right behind NJ Devil is Scotty Fennell, and he's looking for a move here. He looks to the inside. Coming down into this tough corner. Is he going to be able to get the move done? It's so fast-paced, but it's all about that slam on the brake, and he does. He gets to the inside. He moves past NJ Devil up into 2nd place, and that's an excellent move from Scotty Fennell. He needs to get that move done. You can see how slowing down as Yari gets past NJ Devil as well behind him. Oh, but it runs deep into the corner. Who's going to have it as they come around the next section? They're side by side coming through here. Excellent driving from all of them. And oh, I think my timing screen's just gone off a little bit. Because we've got some drivers who have dropped down to the bottom and they're not in the right position. We've got Wet Boy and Drugs. Wet Boy and Drugs is still out the front, with Scotty Fennell right behind him.
Wet Boy and Drugs is still in front, except he's given 7, so a bit strange for the timetable.
We'll just let that sort itself out. We'll try and keep you abreast of what's going on there as we watch Yari really close in here behind NJ Devil. Okay, so Yari hunting down NJ Devil. He didn't manage to get that move done down into that corner, but he's going to keep it tight on the exit here. Now, what about overtaking spots? Where are favoured overtaking spots? Where are we likely to see some drivers getting past today?
Well, of course, the Hangar Straight is a great place to overtake. Quick corners coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. If you have a good exit, then you can take that extra speed with you, get into the zone. And it's a good straight to get some slipstream as well. So
Absolutely.
Probably that's the main overtaking. The quick there are a lot of quick corners around Silverstone, so those are quite tricky places to overtake. I'm sure it's possible, but it's more and more tricky. So.
Absolutely, as we watch the drivers come in here, 3 abreast. Yari moves to the inside, he's going to get the move done on NJ Devil, exactly where you said, end of that Hangar Straight. Little bit of oversteer on the exit, but I think he's got it, as NJ Devil runs wide and he's got a penalty. So the first penalty of the day for NJ Devil in 4th place. I'm sure it won't be the last though. And now Wet Boy and Drugs sets a new fastest lap, but we've got Bob Sada right in behind NJ Devil, as Yari has passed up into 3rd place. So that bad start he's already managed to recover from. Further down the field, what other battles we got going on? We've got IP having a look at the back of Joe Royal here. But we're going to stick with this.
Getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That's the tricky part of Silverstone. Getting a couple of warnings is okay, but then after that it really counts quick. And you get a penalty of 3 seconds.
Absolutely, yeah. It can be really easy, and sometimes it can just happen. NJ Devil goes, oh, and he's spun off the track. Yari's gone off the track, and he drops back down, all the way out of the points almost. Not ideal for Yari, and that's going to promote Bob Sada, who has managed to get past NJ Devil in that situation there. So not ideal for Yari. A bad opening couple of laps for him. Well, we've got up ahead. Oh, I've got IP getting past Joe Royal here, and he's going to do it into the Maggots Beckett's curves, which is an excellent place to manage to get the overtake done. We can only assume that Joe Royal must have had a mistake there for him to get past. Behind them, we've got really close. Lewis is going to have a look on the outside of Joe Royal as well. Lewis has passed Villas. Here he comes down that straight. Can he get the move done? He's on the inside. He's going to get the move done. It's nice and sound before that corner. So well done to Lewis. He's passed past Villas. As Villas gets multiple warnings for running wide, and that is one of those really tricky ones. You need to get the power on early out of that corner, and it's just sends you a little bit wide of the corner, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so difficult to keep the F2 cars running on the track, and then if you go wide once, then you get a multiple warning penalty. It's so very difficult for the drivers. They have to really keep focus and maintain their posture to keep the car on track. So yeah, it's a quick track, so let's hope that those penalties won't do too much damage for them.
Absolutely. As we ride on board here with NJ Devil, he's having a look at the back of Bob Sada. Bob Sada on the soft tyres, NJ Devil on the hard tyres. And it looks like he's managing to keep pace with Bob, who you would expect to pull away a little bit. Perhaps those tyres are just starting to go off a little bit as well. The 3-second penalty.
He really also has to defend his 10th place to Yuri, who's closing in the gap within half a second now. But there's a real battle for 10th place between Yuri and Carcroft closing in on the two drivers who are having.
And they're going to get that position down onto the start-finish straight. Let's just jump up with NJ Devil. Is he going to be close enough to Bob Sada to have a go for 3rd place? He has a look. He decides better against it. It's good to be patient. There's no point damaging the car, because that's going to end up costing you way more time. And Bob Sard is going to hold those tyres for another lap. So how long do we think those soft tyres are going to be able to last around here? How long can they eke them out in comparison to those hards?
Well, I think that's a problem already. Carcroft coming into the pits with 3 laps done on the soft tyres, so I think it's going to be very difficult to keep them, especially with the quick turns, to keep them lasting good for a long time compared to the hards. Of course, if you can manage your tyres well, then it shouldn't be a problem to keep going for another lap or 2 maybe.
Absolutely, and that is the challenge. As we watch NJ Devil, he's now got the run on Bob Sada, and he's passed before the corner. A great DRS overtake. They're going in 2 abreast here. Who's going to have the inside line into the hairpin? Oh, he's forced out wide, but that's going to give him a good run out onto the main straight here. But it looks like this is a fantastic battle. Bob Sada's managed to get ahead. He's managed to keep the inside line and keep that line straight. He managed to get the traction out of the corner. You would think he's going to have to ditch these tyres on the next lap, because he's just losing time now, losing time to NJ Devil behind him. And NJ Devil's going to be losing time on the 2 drivers ahead of him.
He's showing really good racing there. Bob Sada, amazing. But yeah, he should go, he should stop quite soon. Try to keep his position here on the, now they're going over the hanger straight, DRS.
And he goes for the move down the inside. NJ Devil is surely through this time. It's been coming for a couple of laps, but Bob Sard is going for the cutback, and he's going to swing into the pits this lap. So he swings into the pits to switch onto the hards, which promotes NJ Devil into 3rd place. Now on the split strategy, he's going to have to get those new soft hard tyres to work as well as he can. And we'll hop back up. Wet Boy on Drugs built up nearly a 4-second gap now to Scotty Fennell, which is absolutely mahoosive around this track. So it's going to be a real challenge for anyone to catch up to him over the course of today. Let's hop back down the track as we watch the battle for 8th place. We've got Weimangarters, Yuri right in behind him, and Yari chasing those guys down behind. And they're not so far from Vivico ahead either, and I think that just means... Or Weimangarters is not going to have the DRS, which means that Yuri is going to have a go down the inside, and he's going to get it done into the corner. Excellent driving there from Yuri. And is that going to open it up to Yari behind, as he's tracking the drivers behind? He decides against it. We'll hop up as we watch Lewis really in close here behind IP, as they come into these vast lefts, left, right, left again, back into the right-hand turn, and then it's all about getting the power on as fast as you can. Can he get that car as straight as he can, keep the traction as they come down to the corner? He's got the DRS flap is open. Is he going to get past? He pulls the inside. He's got the inside line as they go around the corner, and he's going to get the move done. Fantastic driving there from Lewis, up into 4th place. So good gains from him.
Had an amazing start. Already won 13 places in 7 laps. That's really good racing from Lewis.
Behind IP, we've now got Joe Royal closing in on IP as well. So how will he be able to get the tyres working there? Oh, as he gets a little bit of... Oh, he gets onto the grass, a little bit of oversteer out of the corner, just getting on the power too early, and that led him out onto the grass, and Joe Royal gets an easy overtake. That's not what you want as you're coming out of that corner. It's such a difficult place, because you've got probably one of the slowest corners on the track round there, getting the car slowed right down for it. And that lets him past. Behind them, we've got a battle. That battle for 7th is still raging on. Vivico managing to hold off Yuri, and Yari stuck in behind this. And this is going to hurt Yari, because both the drivers, Yuri ahead of him, is going to have the DRS on Vivico, and that's going to stop him from being able to get the move done down the hanger straight. As we said, a great overtaking opportunity there. As we see, Yuri was just a little bit wide through the penultimate corner there, and that's going to let Jari have a look, but he defends to the inside. Yuri's going to defend to the inside. Can Jari swing it around the outside? He's going to try his best. Really, really difficult place to do it there. He's not going to manage it, but that might put him on the inside line into this next chicane. How's he going to do? And he gets past. Jari is through. Not the best camera angle for you, everyone, there, but Jari gets through in a good position there as Wet Boy on Drugs takes his first penalty. So you can see how easy it is to get a penalty. Even someone as silky smooth and fast as Wet Boy on Drugs can get one. As we watch Jari now, he's now going to close in on Vivico and try and get the next position. Recovering obviously from that mistake and getting out onto the grass. We have a little look at where drivers are with penalties. Okay, so we've got Wet Boy on Drugs out front with 3 penalties. As Jari has a look around the outside of Vivico, he's going to decide against it, but that will give him a tighter line on the cutback. Hopefully he'll have more traction coming down that straight now. He's going to have the overspeed. You can see how much he's closing in. Is he going to have a go into Abbey? This is a fantastic place to get the move done, and he's done it. Fantastic driving there. As Jari is through. Does that mean Yuri's going to get through behind on Vivico? He's not on this lap. And obviously it'll be difficult to close in as Vivico will get the DRS from Jari up the hanger straight.
And another penalty given to Scotty Fennell this time. It's so easy to get penalties here, as you see. A lot of people already got penalties. Such difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those tracks where it's just, and you think you're doing okay, one mistake, and it can end up costing you a couple of penalties. As Yuri becomes the latest driver to add a penalty to his list. So we're tracking here. IP in behind Joe Royal, trying to close up this gap. And where else we got battles? We've got Yuri having a look now on Vivico. He's got the DRS. Vivico's going to defend to the inside, but Yuri's going to try and keep that pace around the outside. He doesn't quite manage it. That would have given him the inside line, but Vivico's defended that really well and just forced him out wide as he touches onto the grass there. Really nice, clean driving from all the drivers so far, though. No one crashing into each other, as we see Yuri just run a little bit wide on the exit there. That would have given him a caution. If he, especially if he
was getting the DRS on the hanger straight, which is, as we have seen before, a great place to overtake. And of course, Vivico doesn't have a penalty because Jari is already 2 seconds in front of him. So we'll see here the move from Yuri. Going down the inside, but just doesn't manage to keep the car and goes into the grass, so Vivico keeps his pop for now. Of course, if Yuri can keep the pressure on him, then the chance will get there by himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. As Lewis pops into the pits, he's going to jump onto the Red Bull tyres. Now, they only lasted 3 or 4 laps for the drivers at the start. Obviously, the cars will be lighter now, so you'll be able to eke those tyres out a little bit more. How well is he going to be able to make those softer tyres work now he's come into the pits?
As Charlie gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's going to hurt him a bit probably, because he already has 11 seconds time penalty. It's really going to cost his race. Of course, the spin in the first round was already disastrous, and now...
Oh, as we watch Yuri swing it up the inside of Vivico. Oh, a fantastic overtake there. Swings it up the inside, and he pulls the move off. So fantastic driving from there. And the battle continues. Oh! Battle continues, and it's Vivico's taken a knock there, and he's just lost a place. Weimangatus gets past as well, so that took all of the momentum out of him as he was going around that corner. And that's unfortunate. Where else have we got battles? We've still got IP battling Joe Royal. The DRS open down the hangar straight. Not going to be close enough to have a go this time, but Yari's closing in behind them. And we're surely approaching that point now where all of these drivers are going to be swinging into the pits, switching over onto the softs, as both of them do. And they're going to follow each other into the pits. Wet Boy on Drugs ahead, and Scotty Fennell. So all of our top leaders into the pits. Now the question is, I suppose, is how well has Bob Sada managed to go on the harder tyres? Because he was on the softer tyres at the start. How has he managed to go on... Where is his? He comes down the hangar straight. So he's lost out to Lewis as well. So we watch Lewis come round. Now our sort of de facto leader on track, but it all depends on how drivers are coming out of the pit lane. As we see Wet Boy on Drugs get away easily. But Lewis is going to promote himself right up, and he's going to come out in front of NJ Devil. So he's really managed to get the that undercut to work for himself. And it's all going to depend now on how well he can make those tyres last right to the end of the race. He could leave himself open on the last couple of laps. We hop back on board here. We're going to swing down and visit Yari. How is Yari doing in behind IP? Probably our closest battle on track at the moment.
After Yuri closing in on Lunar Jedi as well, very close battle. Just couldn't get it done with the DRS, but still one to have a look for. Yari really closing in now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Job done as soon as possible to make up for his trip onto the grass. One of the few drivers who doesn't have a penalty, so he really could make up some big plays if he can get this move done and move up as quick as possible.
Oh, and he threw him the dummy there, swung to the outside, then back to the inside as he went to defend it, and he gets the move done nice and easily there. Great racecraft from Yari there. Excellent. Now, you can see why he's the leader of the championship with driving like that. That's brilliant, brilliant driving. And now he'll chase down Joe Royal. He's got about a second to close in on Joe Royal ahead of him. Oh, as Yuri's getting past Lunar Jedi. Good driving there from Yuri. I'm afraid this camera angle was shot off to not a useful place, but there we go. We see him over the line, past Lunar Jedi, and now he's got to close up the gap to Villas ahead of him.
Yuri really has to make up a lot of time now with the 14-second time penalty, which makes his race really difficult. Absolutely.
So we've got to say, very impressive so far from Bob Sada, Joe Royal and Yari to not have penalties, and Vivico to have avoided managing to get the penalties. That's going to put them in good stead. They'll move up positions because of that. Especially Lewis got 9 seconds of penalties. He might be running in third at the moment, but that's going to drop him right down as well.
Lewis, of course, started 17th in this race, so it's very impressive seeing him in P3.
Absolutely, he's made that strategy work well for himself up to this point. Can he keep it for the last few laps? As we follow Yari down the hangar straight, is he going to get past Joe Royal on this lap? Not quite close enough. Joe's got the DRS from Bob Sada ahead of him as well, so gonna have a good little DRS train opening up here. We swing downfield to see Weimangarters. He's close in behind Pinnacle. He's not going to get the move done into there. As we follow on board with the battle for 5th place. Bob Sada on the older, harder tyres now. Surely it's only going to be a matter of time before the drivers on the softs behind can get past. Joe Royal has a look to the inside, and he's going to get the move done. Excellent, using the overspeed, using the tyres, using the DRS down that straight to get his car into position. Up ahead we've got NJ Devil closing in on Lewis for third place. How is he going to get the move done as we come through those through the tricky Beckett's section? Getting himself a penalty there. Going up to 9 seconds worth of penalties. So it is now a battle on track between Lewis and NJ Devil for the victory position. As NJ Devil has a look, he decides against it. Sensible choice. We'll have a look further back. Is Yari going to have a move down on Bob Sada? He is into that corner again. And you absolutely called it. This is where we're seeing most of those overtaking opportunities.
Yeah, for sure, because you have DRS and quick corners coming in front of the hangar straight, so that's where the drivers can really take that speed and show what they can do with the DRS. It's one of the best positions on the track.
As we ride on board here with Yari, right in behind Joe Royal. Is he going to have the traction to get it done on this part of the lap, or is he going to wait to the hangar straight and show us how that move is done?
Of course, this point has DRS as well, so he can really close in and hope that Joe Royal makes a mistake, but he doesn't, so he will have to wait his time.
And, oh, is he going to have a go for it down here into Abbey? He is, and he's passed. Excellent driving there from Yari. Getting the move done before even getting to the hangar straight. So, fantastic driving from him there. And now he's going to have to close up that gap now to Lewis and NJ Devil ahead of him. This could promote him up to third place if he can keep that gap down and really catch up to those drivers. It will promote him to third place with his 0 penalties, so he's going to have to try and keep his nose clean for the rest of the race.
Wet Boy on drugs, even with his 6-second penalty, managed to keep that gap that large that he could maintain the first position even with those 6 seconds. That's very impressive racing from him.
Absolutely, I don't think anyone's has been able to hold a candle to him this race. He's absolutely stormed away with it. That Wilmini needs to start from 8th place on the grid in the sprint race. As we hop on board with IP now, who is right behind Bob Sada. So Bob Sada on those harder tyres, really struggling for pace. And again, surely only a matter of time. But his saving grace is the fact that he has not got any penalties yet. So kept it very clean. Just excellent driving from him. Carcraft adds another 3-second penalty to his total for today, but we're going to watch IP closing in here on Bob Sada. Is he going to get the move done as we come out of this tricky, high-speed section, throwing the car from left and right, really unsettles the car all the way through it. Very important to have good stability in the back of that car. Oh, and he runs just a little bit wide there. That's not ideal. He's going to have to stay behind Bob Sada for another lap. Further back, we've got Lunar Jedi having a look down the inside onto Villas. He gets the move done as well. Fantastic driving there from Lunar Jedi, making those soft tyres work against Villas' hard tyres. 8-lap-old hard tyres now. as Wet Boy on Drugs has taken the victory. We've barely seen him all race, but our victor today is Wet Boy on Drugs, followed by Scotty Fennell. Yari will take 3rd position, Bob Sada in 4th, NJ Devil 5th, Joe Royal 6th, Lewis 7th, IP 8th, Pinnacle 9th, Vivico's on 10th, Carcraft 11th, 12th Vimangatis, 13th Villas, Yuri in 14th. So a great race there from Wet Boy on Drugs. Can you see him making his way through the field in order to claim the win in the sprint race as well?
Well, he had magnificent pace this race. I think no one could keep up with him. So if he can manage to keep that pace going through the sprint race, then for sure he has a chance. But all the drivers are really quick around here, so we'll have to see. It will be a tight race, exciting race. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I think the sprint race always throws up that interesting racing because of the reverse grid. I think it always makes it for a very interesting piece of racing. It'll all be about who can keep their cool, who can minimise those penalties again on the sprint race. Let us know at home who you think will be the winner of our sprint race today. Who are you going to put in for the bid as we run down the final standings of our feature race today? Wet Boy on Drugs, our clear winner. Scotty Fennell in 2nd, Yari 3rd, Bob Sada 4th, NJ Devil 5th, Joe Royal 6th, Lewis Ugle in 7th, IP in 8th, Pinnacle 9th, Vivico 10th, Carcraft 11th, Vimangatis 12th, Villas 13th, Yuri 14th, Luna Jedi 15th, Jardy comes over in 16th, Uveski in 17th place, and rounding out the field was Isolate with Flair. So our top drivers from position 1 to 8 will start in a flipped order today. Now, Silverstone is one of those tracks, isn't it? All of the real-world drivers absolutely love Silverstone, don't they? How do you find Silverstone racing on the F1 game?
Well, racing on the F1 game could be really tricky around Silverstone, but that's, I think, what most of the real drivers like as well. It's a tricky but quick circuit, which really leads to exciting racing. And of course, not those close walls as we had last week in Baku, which could end up with some trouble. So yeah, some nice runoff areas as well, which keeps the racing going. That's what gives Silverstone and of course the history is as well. Amazing.
Yes, of course, it is a fantastic history of the race. I went for the qualifying of the 50th Silverstone Grand Prix a few years ago, and it was just amazing. So it felt so amazing to be there at the actual location, experiencing it with all the seeing all the cars herring through those corners, and it boggles your mind how quickly the speed of the change of direction as they go through Maggotts and Becketts and corners like that. And you can see why the drivers love it, as they really, really push the cars all the way through.
Exactly, really push the limit from the drivers and the car as well, so that you can see the harmony of the drivers and the cars, and the best will get on top.
Absolutely. So, for our flipped order grid then, we've got IP, who's going to start from 1st place. Lewis will start in be 2nd. We've got Joe Royal in 3rd. NJ Devil in 4th. Bob Sada in 5th. Yari 6th. Scotty Fennell 7th. And Wet Boy on Drugs 8th. Starting in that reversed order. So, do we think then, NJ Devil, he's got the extra positions up the track. If he can get off the line, if he can get the car going and really, really quick and make up those places on the drivers ahead of him, he might be able to pull out enough of a lead on Wet Boy on Drugs.
Well, Wet Boy on Drugs indeed starting 8th, which is, yeah, he needs to make up 8 positions, which is really, really difficult, especially in a 11-lap race. So if NJ Devil can keep up his pace that he had in the last race, it will be very difficult for Wet Boy on Drugs to close that gap into him, but we'll see at the start what happens, who gets the penalties. Lewis, of course, started 17th last race, is now in 2nd, so he had very good pace as well, so we can't exclude him from the win, possibly.
Absolutely. All of the drivers then have gone for the hard tyres on this one. If you were forced at gunpoint to make a prediction for who will win, who are you going to go for?
Really difficult one. I would say NJ Devil, who really showed that he had some pace. And starting from 4th, it could be difficult because he's starting on the wrong side of the track for a great run into the first corner, but I give him a good shot. But Webboy and Rose really showed last race that he's capable of putting some times here.
Absolutely. So the drivers are back round onto the start-finish straight. We are ready for the start of the race. We'll hop on board with IP, who will be leading us away. Can he get a nice clean start? Can he get away as effectively as possible? As we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we are off. The race is underway. IP pulling away there, but it looks like Lewis is going to get him onto the inside of the first corner. Lewis gets the better start there, and he's away. Or is he? No, he's slipped down, Lewis. He didn't get the best start. Bob Sada gets past him. But in front of them, we've got Joe Royal and IP still leading us away. Or Joe Royal has a look down the inside. Is he going to get the move done there? Not quite. Just has can't quite get the traction to get the overspeed down that straight. Bob Sada behind. Wet Boy on Drugs is now still down in 8th. So all of the cars off away and very, very smoothly right from the beginning there. Very nice to see. Further down the field, we see Yuri getting past Weimangartis. Villas gets past Isolate with Flair. As we wait for IP to come around through this fast, flat-out corner. Really, really easy to run wide, as we see a few drivers doing. They'll be collecting their first cautions for that. It could be the start of another whole hail of penalties. But we see Bob Sada right on the back of Joe Royal, and that's going to let IP get away a little bit there. Ahead of him, he's going to be able to build a little bit of a gap. Wet Boy and Drugs already up to 7th place. As we see further back, we've got Yari having a look on NJ Devil. He's going to take the move down the inside, and he is passed up into 4th place already. So good bit of driving from Yari there. Behind, we've got all of the cars in real close succession. Oh, as Wet Boy on Drugs has a little spin out there. He oversteered out onto the grass, and he's going to drop a few places down into 12th place. So not ideal for him. As my timing screen goes all on the wonk again, so I can't be sure of who I'm looking at and where they are. My apologies about that, everyone. IP was in the lead, wasn't he? And he still is. Scotty Fennell's a few places behind them, as Weimangartis becomes the first person to get a penalty today. NJ Devil having a look at the back of Scotty Fennell there. Oh, as Yari ahead is going to have a look on Bob Sada. Is he going to get the move done there? Oh, as Bob Sada's forced to the inside. He's going to have the inside line. Yari's not going to have the speed around the outside there. But will he have the better traction coming out of the corner? As they go side by side round onto this straight. And again, a flat out turn. This is not where you want to be next to each other. They're going to have to be really, really careful here. Great driving as the drivers manage to avoid collision. Yari runs a little bit wide just to be safe, and he's going to end up back behind Bob Sada. So good attempt from Yari, but Bob Sada, great defensive driving. And that's going to make them all drop back a little bit from the drivers ahead. Well, it's going to allow the drivers behind to really close in. So NJ Devil, we've got Scotty Fennell, we've got Yari all close in. As Yari has a look around the outside, is he going to... What a brave move this would be if he manages to get it done. And he does. He's got the overspeed around the outside. He managed to hold the car, and he's going to have the inside line into that corner. Fantastic driving from Yari, who's up into 3rd place. A brilliant overtake there. So now behind Bob Sada, Scotty Fennell will be the next person having a look at the back of him. NJ Devil behind them. And Lewis, 7th place, running behind those drivers. So it's very, very tight here. So he has a little look to the inside of NJ Devil ahead. We've got a yellow in sector 1. So not sure what's happened there. Lunar Jedi's into the pits already. Must have had some front wing damage there. Not ideal for the start of the race here. You do not have to pit on this one, so it's really, really going to hurt him. As we have a look, Lewis is going to have a look on the inside of NJ, or he's going around the outside of NJ Devil. That's going to give him the inside line for the next corner. Is he going to get the move done? NJ Devil trying around, find the way around the outside. Oh, and they touch! Oh. They're both off onto the grass. And that's going to allow Carcraft through into 7th place. Oh, and someone's gone spinning. That's NJ Devil spinning off there. And that's going to drop him right back down the field. Up ahead, we've got Scotty Fennell past Bob Sada.
And Lewis is off as well. He
got Lewis
sure
spinning.
Yeah, he definitely has front wing damage. He defended a bit, probably a bit too aggressive on NJ Devil there, and now we'll have to come into the pits to replace his front wing.
And that is the thing with
this. Race he wanted.
So easy. One little mistake can destroy your whole race. As we watch Pinnacle having a look around the outside of Vivico, then he gets the move done even before the corner. Excellent driving, and we've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. A couple of drivers off. Lewis and Carcraft, I think that is at the back there.
I don't know what happened there, and Lewis just parked it into the side of the road, into the barriers.
So he's got a DNF, and we're going to go onto a virtual safety car. All of the drivers' times are neutralized.
Carcraft having to go into the pits, lost his front wing there, not sure what happened. So this virtual safety car is really coming in handy for him, because we'll lose time for his pit stop to get him back to the field.
Absolutely, as the drivers have to follow around about 40% of their usual speed. That's going to play into the hands of we go racing again. So we now go back racing again. The virtual safety car period is over. And we've got Vivico. Wet Boy on Drugs getting past Vivico there. So making his way back up the field, up into 7th place now from Wet Boy on Drugs. An excellent response recovery drive from himself there. And now we'll have a look at Pinnacle next. Further up the field, we've got a lovely little battle opening up here, right in for behind IP for 1st place. As he leads away Joe Royal and Yari behind them. It'll be difficult for Yari to make the move. We've seen him do it already on drivers with DRS. Can he get it done again this time? And Scotty Fennell and Bob Sada tracking in behind though. It looks like IP has just got the time as he pulls now 2nd, almost a second away. It's really close. Wet Boy on Drugs going past Pinnacle. Oh, Pinnacle's going back past Wet Boy on Drugs as the two drivers really battle through that corner. Really tight driving. NJ Devil just gets past Yuri there, further down the field. As Chardy gets a drive-through penalty. That will be for speeding under the safety car. And Joe Royal now gets a 3-second penalty. So that's going to hurt him, especially if he stays stuck in this train. He's going to need to get past IP and try and build that gap. As we watch Yari tracking behind him. Further down the field as we come onto this straight, we've got Wet Boy on Drugs having a look at Vivico again. Didn't manage to get the moves done last time. Is he going to get it done this time? Has a look to the inside, decides against it. Not quite close enough that lap. He's going to have to wait. He's going to have to be patient. And it's all about drivers who can keep their calm in this kind of situation, isn't it? So you've got 11 laps, you feel like you need to make the moves, you need to try and get forward. But actually, as we've seen already, one little mistake can affect your race so badly that it's not worth it.
No, for sure. The 11 laps you need to, if you're starting from the back, you need to make up a lot of places if you want to get good to the points and possibly onto the podium, which is very difficult. But as you can see, of course, with Lewis, who just didn't take the time to defend well, and then just took his own race away. So it's really, really difficult to keep your cool. Of course, it's just the heat of the moment, and the best drivers will surface up to the top of the water and we'll see them on the podium.
Absolutely.
Yari is really close to Joe Royal now. But it's just a DRS train coming up here.
It is,
Joe
but
Royal can keep inside.
IP is now just He's just slipped away from the 1 second, hasn't he? So that's going to give Jari the advantage into the next corner as we ride on board with Scotty Fennell watching this battle ahead of him. He's going to have to stay patient and hope there's a mistake. He's going to have to hope these two drivers touch and gift him a second place. So we watch Jari coming down the straight.
Close as well.
He's got the DRS, he pulls to the inside. Is he going to get the move done? As Joe Royle runs wide, but he'll have the inside line into the next corner, forcing Jari around the wider, longer part of the track. In theory, you can go faster, but you've got to travel more distance, so it's more difficult. As we see them coming into this, down into the fast, flat-out corner, two abreast again. And excellent, brave racing from Jari, keeping it in. As Joe Royle gets a penalty, must have cut the inside of the track there, and Jari gets past, so Jari is through. As we have this lovely overhead crane shot, sweeping down onto the hangar straight. You see Jari come through. Joe Royle that means he'll have the DRS. And Scotty Fennell and Bob Sarder both with DRS behind him. You can see how close Bob Sarder is to the back of Scotty Fennell. Wet Broil and Drugs is now past Pinnacle. Okay, so I've missed that out on track. My apologies, everyone. But we had excellent racing from Jari ahead. And you would think now that Jari will pull away into second place. Can he close in the gap to IP and take the win?
Of course, there's still a battle going on for third, even second place, but Joe Royle just gets out of the DRS zone. But there, Scotty Fennell and Bob Sada are still close to Joe Royle, so he really has to step up his pace in order to keep that third place, and even with that penalty, he has to create a gap. But Scotty Fennell and Bob Sada really have strong pace today, so they'll be pushing for that third and possibly fourth place.
Absolutely, and it'll be a great result for their team to get both of those cars to consistent points finish. As we're only a few laps away from the end of our racing today, it's time for you to start having a little think about who your driver of the day is. So if you've got an opinion out in the audience, let us know in the chat, and I will throw to you for your driver of the day in a couple of laps if you have a little think about it.
IP, our race leader, just got a 3-second penalty, which is really helping Jari, who is closing in the gap on the hangar straight here.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have a pass for the lead on track in a couple of laps time, I reckon. As we track Jari in, right behind IP. This lovely camera down on the nose, watching the cars as they hair around here.
Jari putting the fastest lap of the race. Really pushing himself now to get that race win, even on track. Of course, with IP getting a 3-second penalty, if he can keep the gap like this, Jari would be gifted the penalty, but he wants that win on track as well.
Absolutely.
Just notice it.
With it so easy to make a mistake, it's worth getting past, isn't it? You know, one slight error and you've got another 3-second penalty. That's the end of the gift. As Jari has a look down the inside now, he's going to make the sweep him through the corner, but it gives IP the inside line into the next one. Can Jari keep it around the outside? Their drivers don't touch. It's great driving from the pair of them, giving each other space. Excellent work from Jari there, around the outside, through the hairpin, and up into first place out on track. Excellent driving from the two drivers. IP driving an excellent race here, keeping it clean, as Joe Royle gets another penalty. That's 6 seconds now, and that's really going to hurt him because Scotty Fennell behind him has no penalties at all. So, coming on to the hangar straight, can Scotty use the overspeed? He doesn't seem to have his DRS open. Maybe his DRS is broken, or he's not pressing the button. Doesn't seem to have it open there, which is surprising because that's, as we said,
really
that's the top place to get the overtake done, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure, but you don't want to overheat your tires, of course, so it might be strategic, or might he just have forgotten to open the button?
Absolutely, we'll have to ask him afterwards if it was a strategy call. As we've got out on track a couple of battles.
8th place, with Vivico and Fiddlers closing within 3 drivers within a gap of 1.5 seconds, which is even a 4th driver coming in now, which is great to see, of course.
Absolutely, every point counts. Oh, and MVV Vision goes off onto the grass there, just oversteps it on the exit, and that allows Villas through. Just a second, trying to close that gap in now to Vivico. So close to getting the DRS. He's got NJ Devil behind him in 10th place. Wet Boy on Drugs has managed to work his way back up to 6th, and he'll get promoted another couple of places, I would imagine, because of the penalties ahead of him. Manages to keep his race clean now. Really, really important to keep this race clean. As we hop back on board with Scotty Fennell. Can he get the gap down? Again, not opening his DRS. As gaps start to open up a little bit all around the track now. Looks like Joe Roy's just managing to fend him off just enough, as Yari sets another fastest lap of the race, as he heads on to the penultimate lap now. Let's hop through the field, have a look at NJ Devil, the Villas, the battle for 8th place.
NJ Devil getting a penalty right behind Villas, which is, yeah. But he's through there. He managed to pass Villas right after he got his penalty, so now he wants to create a small gap, hopefully.
Absolutely, Villas manages to keep his nose clean.
Yari made a mistake. He's down to 4th place.
He's run wide somewhere and he's made a mistake and he's back down to 4th. A nightmare for Yari. I'm really close in behind Scotty Fennell now, as he tries to recover from that mistake. Couple of errors, uncharacteristic errors from Yari. Maybe he's just trying to make it fair, as Scotty tries to squeeze him to the inside, but Yari's going to have the position. He pushes him, doesn't allow himself to be bullied there. Scotty looks for the cutback, but he's not quite going to have the pace. So difficult there, but that promotes IP back up onto provisional pole for this race, pending penalties, obviously. But at least gives us an interesting battle for the win here.
As NJ Devil gets another 3-second penalty, which is really going to hurt him.
Yeah, really, it's going to drop these guys right down, isn't it? NJ Devil has managed to get past Vivico somewhere around the track there. We're going to watch Yari, who will be our provisional leader despite that mistake, track in behind Joe Royal. Lovely crane shot here. I wish we could have this more often rather than the those awkward ones looking at an axle. As Joe Royal gets another 3-second penalty, that's 9 seconds worth of penalties. That's going to drop him right down. Let's have a look at those gaps to the leader. So that's going to drop him right down to about 7th place there. Really difficult for him to make up that ground, I think.
Come around the last couple of corners. Really close battle still between 4 drivers in front.
Absolutely, but IP will cross the line. Yari will get promoted to the winner. Scotty Fennell will get promoted to 2nd place. IP gets 3rd. Bob Sarda 4th. Wet Boy and Drugs 5th. Joe Raw comes over 6th now. Pinnacle will get 7th place. We wait for NJ Devil to cross the line. Got 6 seconds worth of penalties to add, but that's going to puts him behind Villas. Vivico gets 10th place. Yuri 11th place. NDB Vision with 15 seconds worth of penalties coming around the last few tracks, last few corners. Over the start-finish line, he's going to get demoted as Weimangartis takes 12th. Then Chardy, is he going to get over the line? He's got 3 seconds penalties. He's going to get over the line to beat Vision's time. I don't think he is. It's unfortunate for him. Carcraft confirms his 16th place. And we just wait for Iveski to finish us off. So a fantastic afternoon of racing. Some really, really excellent on-track battles. All the drivers keeping it clean, keeping it fair, and doing really, really good. Rossimi reckons Yari should be driver of the day. Jim Bob says Max should be driver of the day. Who are you going to go for?
Well,
as your driver of the day?
For Yari, he's done some excellent racing, getting 2 great finishes, even though made a mistake, still ended up on the top step of the podium. First race, went on to the grass, still managed to get all the way back, like made up 11 places. So for sure, for me, he's the driver of the day today. Really showed why he's number 1 in the standings and what his race pace is. So yeah, for sure, driver of the day for me. Excellent.
So congratulations to Yaris. We see him dance away onto the podium. Our driver of the day and our victor of the sprint race. I think I have to agree, it was the way he made those mistakes, but he kept calm, he kept it back on track, minimised no penalties across the course of the 2 races, and he's just shown, absolutely as you said, shown why he is currently top of the standings in the F2 racing. We're going to need someone to go and pull a bit off his car for the next race, so that he can't lead us away again. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon into the evening as we have watched the F2 here on the Sunday Race League. Please do join us again tomorrow for racing from 3 o'clock in the F4, where you will see me probably crash out and lose my nose, my front wing on the first lap, as I've managed to do in every race so far. My aim is to make it around the first lap. Are you racing tomorrow?
No, I'm on a 5-week break, so I'll be spectating probably.
Excellent. So tune in tomorrow from 3 o'clock for the F4. 5 o'clock we'll have the F2 and F3 races run simultaneously, and 7 o'clock for our highlight tomorrow, the F1 GP around Silverstone. Back tomorrow only on Sunday Race League.